also get the YouTube channel. Like to see all the way on the screen.
You still trying to stay off of responding to comments?
As if we can, unless we kind of get to a point where we can pick one up.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna send some links out.
I found the site to do custom headbands. I'm gonna have to get a custom We Live headband.
Oh, what? Did you hit custom headbands?
Yeah.
Y'all gonna have shirts next week. This is SP sizes again.
Bet.
Ooh, my back hurt, bro. I just left the gym at 7.
What you gonna do?
I had chest today.
Trying to get swollen on them.
I'm not trying to get swole, but I just don't want the baloney no more. I just want to poke out a little bit. Just a little bit.
Ain't nothing wrong with it. It sure ain't nothing wrong with it. Get it.
I need some water, boy. Then I drink the rest of that orange juice I got now. On God. How can you be a Negro and not drink orange juice? That's the go-to. Like, I gotta have orange. But see, I was a Sunny D kid. Even though I know a lot of people really don't mess with Sunny D.
Man, I was growing up, but
The red Sunny D used to be that joint to me, bro. The red one, bro.
it was straight. The yellow one was.
Yeah, the
Now
truth.
It tastes like I don't know.
Sugar, just sugar, yeah.
Mm.
And I hate sweets now. I ain't had it in so long, but the memory of it, I just remember it being fire.
Yeah. I be fucking with that dry ass cranberry juice though.
Oh, cranberry juice, the truth.
Man, that should be.
And I don't know
dry
why.
as hell,
I don't know
man.
why. But from now on, rely on you. Just gonna tweet it out today. What you said, Bill? Oh, you bugging. I don't know. Still got enough meat for everybody.
Oh, so looking like this had to be a hit. I live.
Look, this is what I'm used to promote the podcast tonight. Hold on. Hey, that is, huh? Now, watch this.
He mean well, but he out of his element.
That joint right there.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna do it like that, man. I'm not gonna post that, man.
What song is it?
Well, it doesn't have an official title. It's not out yet.
Yeah.
Jade asked me the same thing. That be decent.
Yeah.
It's definitely different for sure.
It is.
I be trying to get away from just rap, bro. It'd be boring. It'd be boring, bro. I'll put you in my box. Bro, yeah. Cast it on God. Alright, bet. We're gonna lie now. We got 2 on Twitch, 1 Appreciate you, T.
And down, love the kid.
It's slut.
And down, love the kid.
Nigga kind of so look at that nigga, bro.
Yeah, right there. TJ.
That's all you gotta say? You gonna tell your kids?
Brought me my bag.
No, so here we go. Like, one.
Someone needed to die.
Oh no, it gets dark.
It get dark.
Oh yeah.
I gotta keep the essentials, you know what I'm saying? I gotta keep the essentials.
How you doing, sis?
Man, cause she said, "Why the belt?" The belt. I just wear a headband, and I didn't have a headband, so I went with the belt.
Yeah, you look nuts.
I wasn't wearing this when I got up.
Undisputed reigning.
Down, love the kid.
Down, love the kid.
This song is one of my favorites, actually. I'm assuming she's talking about Undisputed. Sound check?
We live.
Okay. And it's disgusting when Alan does it. Have you heard it?
Uh-uh.
Oh, no, you don't want to. Appreciate you guys for tuning in to We Live, the Isaiah Polk Sound Check. I'm your host, Isaiah Polk, and we got Mr. Boogie himself, what was I going to say? Oh, and before we actually get started today, I'm sure anyone who is up to date with current events was aware of the passing of Chadwick Boseman at the early age of 43. We want to send our condolences and prayers to his family. We're going to do a quick moment of silence for him. All right, guys. Today, I want to go ahead and thank everybody who is in the Patreon for your continued support. We actually got one more. Thank you, baby mother of the homie. Even though there's not the pre-baby mama. She'll be there soon.
Yes, sir.
I heard he dropped one to the jams, but oh man, oh God. But look, if you're not already doing it, if you're listening on Apple Podcasts, I want to ask that you go there and leave a review and a rating. A review and a rating. I'm going to say it one more time. A review and a rating. We got a bunch more ratings, a few more ratings, but the reviews help too, just so they have a written out opinion, an idea of how people feel about the podcast. But also on Spotify, if you're listening on there, go ahead and follow and like the podcast. We are live every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday on Twitch at 10 p.m. Central Time. How's everybody's Saturday going? T, how you feeling?
That's all good. Lovely. Wonderful.
Ecstatic. Sensational. Stop spamming symbols in the chat. Let me say what's up to everybody who's in the chat and with us live right now. I'm doing real good. I have power. I never lost power. Hurricane, I was going to say Irma. That was years ago. Ooh, that was years ago. Hurricane Laura just passed through. To anyone who is dealing with the aftermath of that, I hope you're doing well. I can actually plug you on some help if you need it. I know that an organization. Oh boy, English is not my thing today. Organization in Shreveport called We the People is actually doing a volunteer program where they're helping out people in need. So if that is something you or your friends or anyone you know might need, look up We the People SBC on Instagram, I believe, and there's resources to be gotten there.
Also, for some of y'all Brookshires, certain Brookshires in your neighborhood gives away free ice while supplies last.
English ain't for nobody today.
God, it ain't. While supplies last, your local Brookshires are giving away free ice. So go up there and get you some ice. I mean, those of us without power, it may not help much for long, but got to stay strong, baby. It's coming back.
Yes, sir. And like he said, your local Brookshires. Don't go to my Brookshires.
On everything.
Go to your Brookshires, man. But like I said, today, guys, is Saturday. It is 10:06 p.m. We're gonna go ahead and jump straight into the show. As we know, on Saturday nights, it generally is a music-fueled podcast. And I'm going to go and say what's up to Kate. And I'm going to say what's up to... I just saw a YouTube comment. Sorry I missed you. But, T, I don't remember the talking points. I had them, and I lost them. So, if you remember them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
About releasing music.
Yeah, if you want to kick us off.
All right, so I'll definitely say nowadays, as far as releasing music for independent artists, it's much easier to release music nowadays, but I don't know if it's exactly more lucrative to release music nowadays for artists. Just because it's easier to do so doesn't mean everybody should.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't feel like a lot of people properly take the steps to market their music before they put it out. So it's true, you can sit down and record a 20-song album if you want.
Yeah.
And release it on Apple Music, Spotify, anywhere. But who are you releasing it to?
Mm-hmm.
So I'd ask you, as an independent artist who's released
A lot of music.
a lot of material, what steps do you take to make sure you're not just putting out music for your own health? What are you doing to make sure you get heard?
Okay, so 2 things. One, I kind of do put out music for my own health.
Okay.
But I also wanted to get heard because I do want to monetize it.
Right.
So I have this weird dilemma where I do want to put out music in bulk because I like to put out music in bulk.
Gotcha.
But that being said, I promote a lot different than a lot of people because my promotion is centered around my merchandise, not so much about my streamings. So like I push music, I push my brand, and I push visuals and my content around my merch, actually.
Right.
Whereas a lot of people do the opposite. So because that's where the majority of my revenue comes from.
Gotcha.
Now, for the average artist, because I feel like, let's talk about the majority. Right. The average artist, I definitely think, needs to do more focused releases. I think the big issue with independent artists, like you said, is that they release to no one. But I think another thing about that is when you're starting off, that's kind of inevitable. So I think the big thing to do is to understand that once you drop something, you don't always have to focus immediately on your next drop.
Sure.
I think a lot of people have a tendency to create a body of work, release it, and as soon as they release their body of work, they're trying to be on to the next thing.
Right, exactly. Let them marinate.
Yeah.
Do the work. Go talk to your local radio station. I'd say pass out CDs. It's digital age.
Yeah.
We ain't handing out CDs out the trunk no more, baby. But
Gee, who? Who?
I mean, hey, get it how you live.
And I also think that, bro, like you're saying, there is a process to promoting before you drop.
Right. Yeah.
Definitely. But I think people need to understand that the way music works is, and this is just the truth about the entertainment industry, not even just music. The things that sell generally take advantage of people who have insufficient information, insecurities, or are at some kind of deficit. And generally, the things that sells to them is something that gives them what they don't have. So even when you're talking about music, music that sells has selling points. Sex sells. That's why generally, even if people talk bad about it, it's a streaming age. So every view counts. Like sex is one of those things. You have and we're also living in an era where going viral is a big revenue pusher. Right. So it's like and it's a lot. And I say that like I've done it, but I haven't. But when I say going viral is a lot easier than people give it credit, it is. But the longevity is what I think a lot of people miss. So if we're talking about building something, I'm talking about building something that lasts, because I am sure I could go out and do something very stupid and very funny that gets me a pop.
Catch on through like a TikTok or something.
Yeah, but how long will that last?
Right, it doesn't have very long staying power.
And the really tricky thing about a conversation like this is if I had the answers, I feel like I'd already implement them. You know what I'm saying? So I can have opinions and I can explain the path that I see as the wise one to go down. But you know, I'm just as clueless as anybody when it comes to this. So I feel like releasing music is imperative, and I've always been the type of person that believes that quantity is actually a little more important than quality when you're a undiscovered artist, simply because of the fact that quantity will produce quality in numbers. So that I don't know if I've ever shared this with you, but there was a story about this class. A teacher taught a class, it was a pottery class, and he had one set of students spend an hour making 30 pots, and one set of students spend an hour making one pot.
Yeah.
And whoever had the best pot, they won.
Yeah.
Who do you think had the best pot? The people who made 30 pots. But it's not because, you know, they put more work into each pot. It's because they got more experience making a full pot. They were less cautious about like messing up because the teacher just said make a bunch of pots. So they're just trying to make a bunch of pots. So like they had less pressure because, so I feel like even in things like music, painting, anything like that, when you focus on making a grandiose amount of something that you enjoy or love doing, you'll end up getting your masterpiece rather than spending 4 or 5 years on one thing that you swear is going to be your masterpiece.
Yeah.
And then it doesn't, then you wasted 4 or 5 years making this one thing that you may love, but it didn't produce the fruit you wanted. You know what I'm saying? That's why I feel like in this art form, quantity is a lot more important than quality in a sense. Quality is important, but I feel like quantity breeds more quality at scale, at least.
I can definitely see what you're saying, especially in the realm of rap music. But you know, I come from, you know, the realm of alternative style, you know, like rock and stuff like that, where you'll have bands come out with an EP, 4 or 5 songs, and they'll tour on those 4 or 5 songs for years and years to the point where people know them. They show up to the shows and they know all the words to them. They've marketed them. They're popular. So this is their bread and butter, is what people know. They're going to put all their energy into getting these 5 songs perfect.
Yeah.
Once they feel like they have, I guess, a fan base locked in, then they'll go on and release more music from there. But I get what you're saying about the quantity, because you don't want people to get bored with those 5 songs.
And not even that. Like, what if your 5 songs, none of them are a hit, but you think they are, but they're not? You know what I'm saying? I think quality gives your audience an opportunity to decide for you what your gems are. Now, that, like I said, that's not to discredit the people who can amass quality just by focusing on 5 things. It's a thing for sure. I just think that as far as talent goes, or maybe this is coming from a person who's not talented. You know what I'm saying? I'm skillful. And I say this all the time, where I don't feel like I was born with any of the traits I have now. I developed them. So to me, like, I couldn't sing, I couldn't rap or anything growing up. I taught myself these things. So that being said, I feel like had it not been for quantity, I would have never honed those skills. Like, everything was quantifiable by the amount of songs I did. And I feel like that's also a testament to my versatility, because I had to do all these different things and all these different sounds and like really experiment in all these different ways to find my niche.
Gotcha.
And I feel like for artists who don't really want to nail themselves down, that's imperative. Now, if you're a rock artist, you're a rap artist, I think you can do things like that, because I think there's plenty of artists who have picked this song and this is my song, and I know this is my song, so I'm gonna go by that, and it's worked. So I'm not trying to knock, because if it's not broke, don't break it. I'm not trying to knock anything that works, but I think that for certain types of artists, I think quantity is definitely important.
Yeah. Okay. I can't dispute that, because you ain't lying. If you stick to one song and that song just ain't hitting, what you got to follow on after that?
Meat.
Oh, everything.
I love meat.
So, streaming platforms like Spotify, Apple Music. I know this is a big, especially with artists, established artists at that. it's becoming a big debate on how Spotify is messing over the artists, and which I understand. Which
No, you can pull it up, and you can
bet,
still look
bet,
this way. Pull it up.
which back in the day, every album that came out, you had to spend $9-10 to go get that album. When nowadays you can have hundreds of albums all in one release day for that $19.99 a month. Especially you as an independent artist, how do you think that affects artists nowadays? Do you think the streaming service helps, or do you think it hurts nowadays?
Honestly, I think it helps people of my stature,
Okay.
who are a little more established than the guy who sits there and gets 8 views. But I think it hurts the big guy. And I say that to say that music is so readily available that if you're a giant artist like Drake, I honestly feel like he would make more money if streams weren't a thing. Even though he still makes really good money now, he'll make more money off his music
Just music alone.
because people would have to buy it.
Yeah.
I don't have to buy it. I can pay $4.99 a month
Right.
instead of
Right.
$9.99 when you
Exactly.
drop your album.
Right. Exactly.
However, I say this at a moment because all Drake's discography is gonna amass money for the rest of his life now.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's also a thing. Now the reason I say it's better for someone of my stature is because if I look, I'm gonna be making money from now until I grow, which I intend to do, or I stop.
Right.
But even if I stop, my music will still be on streaming platforms, and I'll still be incurring a passive income from it.
Yeah.
So, like, I don't even have to keep trying to sell my music. It's gonna keep selling. And I say that to say, right now, after I dropped Charming, I did not promote it.
Gotcha.
Like, I haven't promoted it, and I really don't intend to because there's something else I'm
Is
planning.
there a reason behind it?
Yes.
Okay.
But there's something I'm planning.
Gotcha.
But I made more money off of Poke this year than I did when I dropped it. I also feel like had I done album sales for Poke, people would have listened to like snippets of the ones they like and maybe bought 1 or 2 songs.
Yeah.
Core fans are going to buy your music. Your core fans
Right.
are going to buy your
Right,
music.
right.
And I know this coming from Bandcamp era when I made music and
Yeah.
streams are a thing, but they weren't really a thing. You would get some sales or some downloads, but you even got to understand prior to music streaming services, mixtapes were prominent. Why?
Yeah.
Because you got to stream music for free.
Yeah.
People would buy albums, but people would buy your album if your mixtape was dope,
Yeah.
which was why that was such a big thing. So I think that it's a lot of the same. You got to really sell somebody on your music to get their money,
Yeah, you do.
either on your music or your person. Like they'll buy your album if they like you.
Yeah, sure.
And
sure,
I think that's what the issue is. TJ says, I think the business model behind streaming hurts all the artists, big or small.
it
And
does. I think streaming, like you said, especially for smaller artists, it's easier for helping you get heard by more people. It's not. It's good for getting you heard. It's not good for getting you paid. I don't think.
I disagree so much. But do you want to know why?
Why is that?
Even if you're a small artist, streaming is so easy. If you're worried about money,
Yeah.
getting a lot of streams is so easy.
Yeah.
It's all about knowing where to put your links, knowing who to talk to, knowing who to share your music with. People don't understand how many streamers on Twitch right now
Yeah.
are looking for music, because if you play music on your Twitch that's copyrighted, you get your broadcast gets taken down.
Really.
So they're looking for people who haven't copyrighted their music. It's so easy to direct traffic to your music if all you care about is the money. And honestly, that's not even if you care about the money thing, because that can get you actual fans. So like that's if you make music, that's an avenue to look into. But not even just Twitch. On that's a YouTube thing. People who stream on YouTube. Streaming is so prominent, like for video games, for just people talking, for podcasts. People are looking for music to use on those things. And that's to say, every streaming platform is a little different. But Spotify, I know, plays something close to 1/3 of a cent per play.
Right.
3 plays is a cent. 300 plays is $1.
Right.
300 plays realistically is nothing. You could turn on your phone and let it play the same song all day in your dresser. And I think I looked it up. You amass like $700 a year.
Yeah. I hear that.
How many small artists make that with their album sales starting out?
What 300 streams on a song?
Or $700 a year off one song?
I probably wouldn't say very many.
I wouldn't, not at all. But
No.
it's feasible because of streaming. You would have to manipulate the system. But
Yeah.
if we're talking about making money, I think streaming actually makes it a little easier for the little guy. Now, yes, you do need a lot more to make the money, but I think it's a lot more accessible.
Right. I think that's what makes it harder. Although it's easier to get the money, like you said, I think, especially for those who they may be good musicians, but they may not be the best businessman to go out and say, "Hey, this is my song.
Yeah.
Will you play it on your radio station? Will you give it a chance? Will you listen to it?" Everybody's not necessarily good at it, so you may have a dope artist whose music deserves to be heard, but he just didn't have the skill or the know-how or the connection to go out and get it heard.
Yeah.
So at that point, he may put it out and get, say 1,000 views. He may get paid from it, but maybe not nearly what he deserved to get
sure.
or could have if he had the skills and the tools to market it on his own, which I think is a skill within itself. So
No, for sure. Let me also say this for any artists who are not who are building like their repertoire of who they're going to be marketing with and branding with, I guess. Networking with, I guess is the right word. Don't get a manager. You don't need a manager.
Yeah.
If you are a small artist, you do not need a manager. I condone booking agents. And it sounds crazy, but I condone the investment in a booking agent because booking agents get you shows, they promote them, they make sure people are there, and they get you in front of people. That's not a manager. Your manager can double as a booking agent, but they're usually not very good at it. I can understand paying for a booking agent. Don't you ever pay for a manager when you're not performing, if you can answer your phone calls. You don't need. How do they calculate that, so to speak? DSPs aren't necessarily giving you the analytics and what they make on one stream. Does that make sense? They definitely give you the analytics on one stream. Spotify will give it to you. Apple Music will give it to you. They actually break it down for you in excruciating detail.
Tidal has the highest payout.
Yeah.
Any of them. I think Tidal is like where Apple Music is like 1 cent per 100 streams or something like that.
Yeah.
I think Apple Music is like, Tidal is like 10 cents.
Yeah.
Something like that.
But all of them do break down your money.
Yeah,
They all break it down for you. So I wouldn't go that far. But like I said, it's not an objective thing, like whether it's better or worse.
Right.
I'm just speaking from my vantage. I know I do a lot better monetarily since streaming came about. Like if it was still back to where I had to sell you an album, I probably wouldn't be doing this for money. Like I wouldn't be looking for money because I just wouldn't make any. That's like saying, and even when you did that brings a valid point. Even when there was solid album sales, like you made $9.99 off your sale, you didn't get $9.99 from it.
No. You had to pay the producer. You had to pay the featured artist.
You had to pay
the label,
revenue share, whoever hosted it. Where you if it's an electronic share, you're losing it. Bandcamp took 10%.
Really?
Of an album, but the way they did it is, say you sold a $10 album, you had a revenue share, so that would at 10 cent, 10% of $10 is $1. If you sold another $10 album, you owe them $2, but they wouldn't take it until it amounted to a sale. So if say you sold two $10 albums and you owe them $2, then you sold a song for 99 cents, they would keep that 99 cents. So another song for 99 cents, they keep that. But if you kept selling things that were greater than the amount you owed, you get your money. But say you ended up owing like $10, your next album sale is theirs.
Really?
So it's like there's always been the catch-22, and there always will be, because people want their money.
For sure.
Just like the artist wants their money, the people who host for the artist want their money too. So I'm not hating on it, but I'm just saying from my personal experience, I've done a lot better musically and monetarily since streaming's been a thing, and I wouldn't step backward at all as far as whether like I wouldn't step backwards to the non-streaming era. But I didn't know that. I forgot that this was a point. I had kind of brought up mixtapes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of which,
Yeah.
mixtape dead.
Is it dead?
Yeah.
No Ceilings just charted #1 on Apple Music.
Yeah.
So it's hard for me. It's hard for me to say that the mixtape's dead when one of the most prolific mixtapes of all time just outsold everything else that came out that week on a major streaming platform.
True.
I think that was greatly because of nostalgia.
Big time.
And I wouldn't try to sugarcoat that. I can't tell you the last mixtape I listened to. But I know people who do listen to them. I think that because of streaming platforms, and because of how lazy consumers are, I think mixtapes are definitely underappreciated. I wouldn't say they're dead, because a music buff who understands and still listens, like if my favorite artist dropped a mixtape, I'm gonna go get it. But like if it used to be, I would just get a bunch of mixtapes just to check new people out. I'm not doing that anymore because I can just go to a streaming platform, click an artist, and see what kind of joints he has. So I wouldn't say mixtapes are dead, but I think that they definitely aren't as valuable as they were.
Right. Which streamers made it so easy to drop an album. People will tell you it's a mixtape all day. By definition, once you're dropping it, you're getting paid for it. It's not a mixtape.
Yeah, it's an EP.
Like Chance tried to drop that album and call it a mixtape.
Yeah.
It's definitely an album.
Yeah, it's an album.
But I think, especially, I'll say mid-2000s to 2010s, mixtapes were an artist's best representation of themselves. It's where they could step away and be them with the producers they wanted, the beats they wanted, without the restraint of the label. You look at most big artists now, their best projects are often a mixtape. So I think that's where they were doing their best work creatively. But I just think nowadays with streaming platforms, and I guess you could say Dat Piff is dead. Dat Piff's still around, but mainly we use Dat Piff for the old mixtapes. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
We're not going to find new mixtapes on Dat Piff.
Yeah.
So
I think the art of the mixtape is definitely dead. Because what's the point if you can make money off your mixtape?
Right, exactly.
Now, that was a really good point you made about the mixtape being for the most genuine representation of an artist. Because I remember listening to Dedication 4 before the Carter came out, because I knew it would be better, because like he's not trying to sell me this.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like he's just doing his thing.
Yep.
Rick Ross mixtapes. I listen to Rick Ross mixtapes. I listen to Wayne mixtapes. Kanye West mixtapes are always amazing. And it's like I just remember being way more excited for a mixtape than an album when I was younger, for sure.
Definitely.
But that being said, I think that definitely that's a blessing and a curse, because now a lot of artists, I think, are a lot more willing to be their genuine selves in album material work. And album material work is also starting to be more resemblant of a mixtape.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, because you got people like Comethazine and people like Tay-K when he dropped what was it called, Santana World, and you got people like Lil Pump. I'm a Lil Pump fan, kill me.
Yeah.
But like that's mixtape music. That's not album music.
It is.
And I'm ignorant, so that's fire to me.
I mean, I'll never get it, but I ain't gonna knock it.
Bro, you love Lil Pump. Quit Kevin.
I love Lil Pump.
Have you ever gave him a chance?
Never.
See, that's what it is. You love it. You love it. I promise you would love it.
You gotta put me on there.
You won't like it. It's not fun. It's not fun, but you know, I like trash music for the meme of the trash music. But yeah. Let me jump onto what the heck?
What's that?
No, I got a very odd text message. One sec.
Yes, sir.
My baby has COVID.
Word?
Oh God. Did you hear that babies are like, I got it from her cousin. Did you hear that babies are like super, not like immune, but like they have a very good track record with dealing with COVID. I wouldn't take it I wouldn't take it lightly.
Right.
But
no.
for some reason, yeah, scientifically it's an anomaly, but kids are just really good at coping with the disease. And I mean, I guess it makes sense. You know, your immune system takes 2 to 3 months to really develop.
Yeah.
I learned that when I found out because I looked into it because I was worried. But it's really just for, you know, even just like the flu, stuff like that is really detrimental to people who are immunocompromised. And I guess it makes sense. And when I'm saying babies, I'm talking 3 to 6 months. So I guess it makes sense in that stance. And you also know that when you're born, baby continues to get antibodies from its mom because of the placenta. So it's I can see why babies will actually be a lot better because they're not, their immune system isn't developed, but they have a lot of safeguards. Breastfeeding helps with immune systems. So we're talking about music now. We're talking about babies sucking titty milk.
Right. She gonna shake back though. She be alright.
Yeah. I think it's gonna be fine. But that was just, I thought I would share that with you. But I'm gonna check chat real quick, see if we got any questions. If anybody has any questions or anything for us, we'll answer those real quick before we close out. I'm gonna check YouTube and I'm gonna check.
I mean, hey, you brought up dedication 4. Do you got a top 5 mixtapes?
Me?
Yeah.
Top 5?
Yeah.
They're gonna be old. I'm gonna start at the best. Okay, Lonnie Bro, I believe, is a mixtape, if I'm not
About
mistaken.
Frank Ocean. Yeah.
That's number 1, in my opinion. Number 1,
Really?
yes.
Okay.
2 is gonna be So Far Gone.
Yeah, that's definitely a mixtape.
3 is gonna be No Ceilings, in my opinion. 4 for me is I gotta go back in the Polk City, and 5
Oh God, that's a classic.
oh God, classic for sis ants, and 5 bro. So many things are jumping through my head. Give me an artist real quick. What artists do I like? They're out back then. Ye's what mixtape was it? Let me look it up real quick. 'Cause I know a song that was on it, and as soon as I see that song, I know the whole track list.
Yeah.
Ye had a mixtape called
What era was this? Was this before 808? Before or after 808?
I want to say right after.
Because 808 was before Twisted Fantasy, wasn't it?
That's what I'm talking about. Twisted Fantasy. Yeah, no. The one that came right before Twisted Fantasy.
Before
Hold on. Which one was it? It's not Eyes Open. I can't remember, but there's a Ye mixtape I used to love. I had it on my my Sansa clip. You know what a Sansa clip is?
Man, I ain't seen one of them things. It's like,
Disgusting.
man.
What about you?
Let me see. All right, so Crit's
I knew it was gonna be a career mixtape.
Return to Forever, which all of his mixtapes before he put out Live from Underground are all amazing. But all four.
Oh,
are
I'm
probably the
tripping.
best.
Take off the Ye one,
Yeah.
or you can take off Polk City. I don't care. Gotta put the warm up.
J. Cole.
Yeah.
Which I got a J. Cole, but it's Friday Night Lights. The warm up is fine, but I feel like Friday Night Lights.
Ah,
is the
shoot.
best
Friday
one
Night
for
Lights
music.
was dope. That's when we had the basketball on the cover, right?
Yeah.
That one's better than the warm up.
Well, no, it's like the black and blue cover where you sit on
Yeah.
the ground with the.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'd have to look at the list. I think I do like the warm up better, but Friday Night Lights was dope
Yeah,
too.
very, very. Let me see. Covert Coup, Currency,
I've never,
Currency and the Alchemist.
I don't like Currency.
Why?
He sound like 80-year-old Shreveport OG. I can't.
Man, Currency never dropped a bad tape. I don't think.
Man.
Or I've never heard one I don't like.
I just don't like the way he rap.
I mean, I can feel it.
Fudgiatos on the street. I can't do it, bro.
Let me see. Probably. I'll put Macadelic.
I was tripping, Kate. Sorry for the wait is up there. Sorry for the wait's up there, bro. It's not maybe not
It's
top
dope.
5, but it's up there.
Right, it's dope. It's definitely dope. I wouldn't put it top 5 for
Macadelic.
sure.
I was a Mac. You know, I wasn't a Mac Miller fan.
Yeah, Kids was I don't know if I'd say Kids was better, but Macadelic just has a bigger place, and because I think that was the first Mac project I heard. So, well, no, Best Day Ever was the first Mac project I heard. So.
Yeah.
But Macadelic still, and damn, 5.
Nickels and dimes.
Shit, that's hard to say.
Nickels and dimes.
Lil Love ASAP, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can see that. I was surprised not to hear a OF joint on there.
It's hard. It depends on what you consider Bastard. If you consider Bastard a mixtape,
It's an album.
then yeah.
Yeah.
That I consider it an album.
Yeah.
But a lot of people say it's a mixtape, but
Yeah.
nah.
Nah, I'm not. Lonnie Bro is the best mixtape of all time. Has Voodoo on it. It has Accurate Integral on it. If you haven't heard Lonnie Bro by Frank Ocean, go listen to Lonnie Bro. It made me a fan of Frank Ocean, and every song on there, and it has Swim Good on it. Every song on there has stuck. I think Novocaine was on it. Come on, man. Like,
Novocaine was on Nostalgia Ultra,
but he moved it.
so it was on both.
Yeah. So Lonnie Bro, the mixtape had like, it was so many songs at first, and then some of them got pulled and put on Nostalgia Ultra. Nostalgia Ultra is his debatably one of his best albums in my opinion. I think that he had more misses on Nostalgia Ultra than he had. Alan says like 40 songs.
Really?
Lonnie Bro was so long, but it like there was more misses on Nostalgia Ultra. Like, I feel like there's something to say about artists who miss more. Like, you can hit hard, but if you miss a bunch on one album, I'm gonna give the best album to the album that missed less.
Gotcha.
And that's why I say his best album is Channel Orange, just because it missed, or Endless, just because they missed the least. I think that Blonde was great, and I think that Nostalgia Ultra were great, but there's more songs on both of those that I skipped. So that's just how I felt about that. But if we don't have any questions, Endless is dope. I know. If we don't have any questions, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and close us out. If you're on the fantasy draft, or the fantasy, if you're playing in the fantasy league, I think I'm just gonna go ahead and text you. Maybe you just start a call, and we're gonna get that started. The draft starts at 11:30, so actually we'll go into that. We'll take care of that content, and then the draft starts at 11:30. So I'll text everybody and get us all a way where we can be in contact while we're doing the draft. Maybe just a call, but appreciate you guys for hanging out with us.
Yes, sir.
I'm in my bag.
Sound check.
We live.
Yes, sir.
In my city, if you risky, you could lose it quick. Yeah, my eyes don't know I knew it, but I see life through my lens. Things get dark. If you see life through my lens, please don't bend, you might be arc. Out of shape, you best not start. Pull up on me, just my spark. Things get dark. Things get dark. So just respect my pen. Ayy, come back to my ends. Ayy, trying to stack my ends. Ayy, I just love my brothers who gon' be there to the end. Ayy,